So when you talk about green software, it is all about how do you design and develop applications with energy efficiency in mind so that you could reduce carbon impact. And when we talk about green software, we have to look at the space holistically, right from the software development life cycle. For instance, how do you embed energy efficiency and reduce carbon as part of your software development life cycle process? Be it using the right level of programming language, right level of architecture. Just to give you an insight, there was a recent blog I read where an organization moved from JavaScript to Rust. Rust is probably the second and third best programming language. And they were able to optimize the application by 60 to 70%, both in CPU and memory. And the most interesting part of this equation was it was only a small part that they migrated. So you didn't need to look at changing the entire code base, but only a small impact at scale can have a significant improvement both in terms of energy carbon as well as for the organization. It's also mean a lot of cost savings. The other area that we look in when you talk about green software is the whole data initiative, right? Organization have been keep piling the data over the years with the event that it might be used in future. And personally also is true, right? We all take selfies, photo, because our phone has infinite storage. We never go back and delete it. And all the information goes back to the cloud and so on. So from a data perspective, when you talk about green software, how do you bring in the whole green data aspects? For instance, how do you do optimized storage, backups and so on? And then we have the AI angle to it, right? We talked about the classical AI and generative AI, right? And there was an interesting question in terms of if you have infinite, do you need to do infinite training because GPUs might be limited? The solution to that is using green AI principles. And few examples have come out in the last couple of months itself, right? With the DeepSeek model on how they can do intelligent training, use a different architecture as compared to transformer, and also reduce the training time and make it cost efficient. A couple of days back, Alibaba released their model, right, which is even more optimized. It's a 32 billion model, which does the same capability with reduced cost as well as carbon efficiency. And finally, you have the deployment angle, which where you're deploying everything to cloud. The cloud runs on renewable energy. From a renewable aspect, which applications needs to run at what point of time. The concept that we call is carbon aware computing. How do you leverage carbon aware computing to reduce your carbon workloads? And finally, you have the infrastructure angle, because whether it's servers, GPUs, ideally you want to minimize that so that you could increase the lifespan of the devices. And also you need to look at in total all of these aspects. So green software basically looks at all of these aspects, right from hardware, software, and how can you bring down the energy carbon emission and increase the energy efficiency. And when we launched the Green Software Foundation almost 4 years back in 2021, we have 4 broad challenges when we started this. One is there was lack of standards and what it means to measure carbon emission. And that's why we started working on a specification called software carbon intensity. And last year we achieved the ISO specification also. Now, so any organization can now measure carbon emission in a standardized way. The second challenge we looked into it was around tools and technology, right? Now we have the standards, what tools we need to provide it to our developer community. And that's where we launch tools like Carbon SDK and the Impact Framework, which can help you measure and reduce your carbon emissions. And then we have the awareness and education angle, right? How do we educate our workforce, where we launch various learning materials, as well as there's a free course available through our Linux Foundation on green software. I encourage everyone you to take the course and be aware of the green software principles. And fourth one was basically around whole policy, right? How do we engage with organizations and universities and so on to make this further. So that's how I would sum it up, right, in terms of making green software, right, as a priority, as a first-class citizen, right, whenever you design and develop applications.
Great. Thank you.